In the past, I've been super open. I've shared some of my absolute worst client horror stories, the things that you just have to laugh about because it's so ridiculous and awful. So today I wanted to react to some of the best freelancing horror stories I found posted out there. If you're having a bad day, this is a little bit of therapy. And if you just want to prepare for the bad days that are inevitably going to come, it happens to the best of us. Hey, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the very first time. All around, welcome. I'm Carrieblogger, a career freelancer on Fiverr.com, where I've been selling as a Fiverr Pro verified copywriter for about the past 8 years. And in today's Freelance Friday video, I'm reacting to some truly awful horror stories. Just the worst clients you can imagine. But before we can get into that, we have to announce this week's Blogger of the Week. If you would like to be the Blogger of the Week, just like, hey, Mr. Cody, all you have to do is drop a comment down below and you might get picked. So I'm not even super sure how I stumbled onto this website, makealivingwriting.com, and they had this kind of comment contest to drop the worst horror story in the comments, and they picked a couple winners. I was just cracking up and I thought this would be a super fun thing to react to. So we're gonna read through a couple of these comments and see what resonates. My worst client experience also happened to be one of my first when taking a step into the world of freelance writing. I wanted to be published with an online publication besides my own blog to build my portfolio, and a friend connected me with her brother who worked for an online magazine. We corresponded and agreed that I would write 12 articles for the magazine, one per week. The work was unpaid. Yikes. This kind of work is iffy at best to start with. There is something to be said about getting experience, that there's some value for you, but it's clear that whoever's hiring you for experience is getting a much better deal out of it than you are. Continuing, they say, I diligently wrote the articles and submitted them on time every week, and I use the phrase on time loosely since there were never any real established deadlines. I hate when I'm like the one who's on it and my client just does not care. Why am I the one who cares about this so much? After completing the 12 articles, I contacted my friend's brother about the potential to continue working with the magazine, but on a paid basis. After a few days, he offered $25 per weekly article. By this point, I was beginning to realize the value and time that went into my work, and I politely declined. Heck yes, stand up for yourself. And that's the problem too. If someone offers you just for experience or a trial, or can you offer me a discount because I'm gonna be a long-term client, what you're really signing up for is, even if it does turn into a long-term thing, you're really just signing up for more discounted work in the future. Why would I want to set up a long-term relationship with a client who doesn't value and appreciate what I deliver to them? They said, I recently discovered a bonus to this whole ordeal when going to their website to save some of my work for future reference. They had switched out my byline with another contributor's for one of the articles I wrote. Yikes. This sort of happened to me a couple months ago. It was convoluted anyway, and I should have seen the sign, but I was working with the marketing agency who then had a client. And I do that often, but there just seemed to be this big disconnect between the middleman and the end client and me. I got bad vibes from him, the end client. I got worse vibes from her, the middleman. And I was just trying to keep the peace, basically. Ultimately, when I delivered the content, apparently the end client just went berserk on the marketing person, had all these crazy screaming, ranting complaints, I guess. But when they actually, wrote down the list of complaints, it was like 3 incredibly reasonable, tiny little fixes. They were not a big deal. And so because the middleman was so mad at her client for just reaming her, she was worried she was gonna lose her job, then she goes berserk on me. And again, I'm like, whoa, like calm down. None of this is a big deal. All of this is completely fixable. Don't worry about it. We need to cancel this right now. We need to refund. And I'm like, bro, this is a quick revision. This is like 10 minutes of work. Chill out, it will be fine. Ultimately, I held my ground and they left me a scathing review. Super unhappy, awful. A couple weeks later, I go to check on this person's website, totally out of curiosity. And of course I see that they're using 99% of the writing that I delivered to them, because of course it was fine. That's what I was saying. The guy super overreacted. These little issues were literally nothing. So in that case, it's like, there's no recourse for me. I can't do anything. The order's closed. The revision happened. The review happened. And all I can say is like, bye. Yeah, you're using my work after you just ripped me to shreds for no reason. And that sucks. My worst writing a job was my first one as a freelance writer. Isn't that how it normally happens? Like, until you really know what to look out for, you know how to stand up for yourself, that's when things are iffy. I took the leap and started a content writing agency, and I was placing ads everywhere, including the dreaded Craigslist. I've never listed my services on Craigslist. Well, we met up the first time at Starbucks because he refused to email me the work details he wanted completed, which I should have taken as the first red flag. Yes, big red flag if they won't even tell you what the job is or won't share the materials, especially if they're so worried about you like stealing something from them. I have work to do. I have no interest in stealing your business idea. I have no interest in trying to rip you off. I literally just want to write the work and get paid and move on. Fast forward to sending him the first draft. I received it and I need to just read slower. Fast forward to sending him the first draft, he received it and immediately fired back with remarks about how I didn't do much to change the copy. He said that my work was not up to par with others in his industry, although his website was riddled with incomplete sentences, punctuation errors, and all around didn't make sense. All the time. And I know. But all the time, if you are coming at me with just a draft that makes no sense, and then I write something and then you tell me that my writing doesn't make any sense, I'm like, bro. Even though I was steaming, yeah, I agreed to let him write a draft, and I used that as a second draft for him. He did not use email, so he wrote out what he wanted the website to say, and I took it home and typed it up. He wrote it by hand, refreshed it for SEO and grammar purposes, and met back with him to show him. The second draft was still not to his satisfaction. Often when clients just say like, you've screwed it up, just step back for a sec, I'll just do it myself. Okay, give me a draft, I guess I'll use that. And then they still aren't happy with it, and it's like, bro, that's what you said. This is literally your words, I fixed them. That's when that bully attitude comes through, that they think they know better than you and they can't trust you. Ultimately, he paid me half the amount I asked for. I just chalked it up to my first experience and moved on. Okay, some of these are so long, I literally can't even like summarize this for you. So when I was looking for work from home jobs, and before I knew what kind of writing I wanted to do, I started trolling Upwork for jobs. Gasp, the horror, right? I was hired by a husband and wife writing team at $8 for 1,000 word articles, as if the pay wasn't bad enough. Jesus, that sucks. Essentially, they would load me up with work for meager pay, $700 a month. You're making $8 for 1,000 words? How do I even do that math? Say there's 30 days a month. You're writing like 3,000 words a day. That's not awful, but for that pay it is. I wanted to give them plenty of notice, so I gave them a month's notice, and she got mad and told me that that day was my last day. They didn't believe that I was getting a whopping 5 cents a word and said that was the highest I would ever be paid. Boo. Now that's laughable. They left me high and dry with no income for a couple of weeks, and I had already quit my other job. Needless to say, I learned a valuable lesson from all of this. Like, don't keep your eggs in one basket. They honestly thought that they were paying their writers well. And that sucks that it's coming from a content team. Like, they're already writing articles, they're just outsourcing. I talk about this in my ethical outsourcing video. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. It just sucks when you know that the sale price and what the head honchos are taking home is vastly superior to the pittance that they're paying their underlings, and that they really do see them as underlings. I think this will be the last one, okay? I had this seemingly great client that hired me for a series of articles, mostly product reviews. I enjoyed his patronage for about a month until the day he gave me a special assignment. This right here is proof that sometimes you have repeat clients who are cool, and then all of a sudden they just take advantage of you, or like something changes in the dynamic. But I have had a couple stories of repeat clients that totally stabbed me in the back for no reason. And it's like, dude, we had a good thing. What were you doing? Anyway, he wanted me to write a 5,000 word article within 24 hours. 5,000 words for an article just seems excessive to me. Like, be concise. And he attached an irresistible pay. First off, I had to postpone other assignments. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I could not also go for a friend's wedding because I had to finish the job within 24 hours. Are you joking? Your friend's only getting married once. This guy can wait. In this part of the world, power is not stable, so I rushed to buy some fuel for my generator. Oh. I got the job at around 10 a.m. on a Saturday and sent it to him around 8 a.m. the following day. I am so blessed. I am so lucky. I know my living conditions are stable. My power is stable. My internet is stable. I have so much privilege in that regard to not have to worry about those things. And for anyone out there who is worrying about those things, I'm so sorry. He didn't get back to me on it until the 4th day, and that was unusual. Oh my God. Okay. Literally all the time, someone will message me, let's say on a Monday, and they say, I need this project right away. Here's the quote, here's the order, go. Then they get back to me next Monday, 7 days later. They've completely ghosted me. Like, even if I check in again, I'm like, hey, didn't you read, this was urgent, right? A week later, they're like, I need this right now. You have to write this for me right this second. I was available a week ago, and if you just actually ordered on time, this would have been perfectly fine. But honestly, because you dropped the ball, like, that does not make me want to drop everything and do it for you. And like, of course they're not willing to pay an expediting fee, right? Of course they're not even being like polite about it. It turns into this like demand for instant delivery. His feedback has been the worst email I received this year. It was a killer one-liner. Oh no, I'm afraid to read this. Am sorry, the management no longer needs the article because our marketing plan has changed. Oh my God. It demoralized and destabilized me so badly. Oh my God, this is just heartbreaking. Before then, I had heard that freelance writers face a lot of rejections, but nothing could have prepared me for that knockout. Okay, that's not a rejection. That's someone not fulfilling their half of the contract. They contracted you for work. You delivered work. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, if they're going to use that or not. That's why I get paid up front. And if someone did that to me, I'd say, you know, great. Now you have it in your article reserves. You can post it in the future, but like a big F you for that one. Okay, there's like way more comments in here. I'll include the link to that in the description down below. I don't know how I found it, but it was partially funny and partially heartbreaking to read some of those stories. That's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, you know that you are my actual hero. Thank you so much. I hope that you have a really good work day, really good clients. Remember that you are always worth more than your workload. And let's get back to work.